Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, you guys? How's everybody doing? What's cracking, fam? How are you guys? How's everyone? Got some things cooking today. What's cracking, guys? Gonna go over some reminders and stuff today. iOS reminders app. Gonna do some cool things. How you guys doing? Hey, what's going on, Sean? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. What's up, what's up, what's up? You gotta tell me if you guys use any reminders. Hey, 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 girl, hey. What apps do you use? I also put a poll in my community. I did it last minute. That's okay. That's all right. What's cracking? Oh, I forgot I had that on loop. The other one's more upbeat. I am good. I am good. Today we are gonna just go over. This is a little like, now I heard the other one. I'm like, nah, I like this. But I'm good. Gonna go over some, I guess, efficiency tools this week, productivity. Trying to stay away from being a procrastinator. I had a great day today. Gigi, how was your day? Sean, I appreciate you showing support. Means a lot. Thank you so much. I have slowly but surely been peeling away at my list of post-its. I don't think I brought my other glasses down here. It's all right. Oh, hey! The timer finished. What is going on, you guys? Well, I wasn't paying attention, so that's... What's going on, fam? How are we doing today? Yeah, I gotta figure out the placement because when I sit upright in this chair, it cuts off the top of my head. And then I gotta do this. Kind of. Yeah, week 3 on the job. Did you get your own office yet? You know, they need to get you your own office. Hey, Obs, what's cracking? How are you doing today? They need to give you your own office. So today, he was on the wrong day. I was jumped 4 days ahead. That was not me. And I know that I just did the last minute planning for the week ahead. Hi, Gretchen. How are you? Thank you for coming through. But you guys can't blame me. Hey, K-Walk, you're not feeling any better? That's not good. Hopefully I can keep you entertained, and we're going to move this very quickly. But while I move this, I should have left it over here. We are on day 36. Oh, day 36, 64 days to go. That is very exciting. I was planning out the next couple of days, basically through Friday. I scheduled the live streams. So some of you guys might be getting alerts and stuff like that. And I scheduled it through day 40. And I was like, man, gonna be Friday. We'll make 40 days down, 60 days to go before we get into so I planned a whole week for you guys last night once I was done. So today we are going to go over the iOS reminders app. I put it back on my calendar because I noticed. So this is what happens. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen, right? And I'm very much a creature of habit. So today we're going to go over iOS reminders. Tomorrow we are going to be doing a deep dive of Notability. I've been saying that, but tomorrow we are going to be doing a deep dive of the app that I use with the iPad, Apple Pencil, not the template itself, but of Notability. So all of the features that you have within Notability, like the highlighter feature, the text feature, there's a ruler feature, handwriting recognition. So we're going to go over all of that stuff, subjects, dividers, keeping yourself organized within Notability. Then on Thursday, we're not going to do too much of a deep dive, but I do want to do a comparison of GoodNotes, because that is a similar note-taking app on the iPad with Apple Pencil. It's a huge competitor of Notability, so I figured I would take some time to show. I have them both. I bounce back and forth between the two, but every time I try to go to use GoodNotes, I always come back to Notability, and I don't know if that's because I'm just already so heavily ingrained in the ecosystem, and I don't want to think that that's what it is, because if I feel like the product is good, I can switch. Like, I love switching between Samsung and iPhones, right? Like, I love the Galaxy Note series. I love the S Pen series. You guys obviously would know that, right? Because I love to write with the pencil. So I don't have a problem switching, but it got to make sense. It has to like grab me. And I just feel like as much as I try to go to GoodNotes, I always go back to Notability. Anyway, so on the 13th, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go over a GoodNotes comparison. Then on the 14th, we're going to do a quick review of the native iOS Notes app, because there are some really good features. I very rarely use it, but there are circumstances that I have used the native Notes app because of the cool shortcut features. So you'll see that. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to do some Text Expander, another app, Text Expander, similarities, why you would want to use Text Expander. And we're going to go over WebM files, converting files to like audio, video files to WebM, and bring them over much more easily into Ecamm, and why you would want to do that and how you would want to do that, and creating some WebM files. So that'll be Friday. And then Saturday is ladies' night, as usual, and Angie will be the special guest. Angie's coming down on Friday afternoon. She's spending the whole week with me. I'm very excited about that. And then she will be a guest in person on Saturday night, and we're going to do some of those cards, the pod deck cards. I'm going to pick cards from the relationships section and just some cool, funny ones. So that's what the week looks like ahead. I'm very excited. Like I said, I started to plan. I started to do what I normally do, because I realized the last 2 weeks we did some learnings, but not like the structure of how we kind of started it. And I do like that structure. So I just wanted to make sure that if I had realized that with the way I am, that if I put it on my calendar and I use that 100 days of live streaming planner, it helped me to follow through with you guys. So let me come through and check on you guys in the comments. Very good getting stuff done. Absolutely. I was getting a bunch of stuff done today. I was texting Evie some of the things. She put up she didn't even realize, but she put a foot up my butt yesterday. Gigi, let me know. I'll put some foot up some butts over there. Although I know you can do that all on your own, girl. Gretchen says, I may not make it on the next 2 days. We'll be on an art retreat with friends and in a spot with no or limited coverage back Thursday. All right, cool. Well, thank you for the heads up. Enjoy that art retreat. And I would love, excuse me, can't wait to hear about what that experience will be. So that's super exciting for you. Sammy Superstar. What's cracking, Sammy? How you doing today? Using native notes app. See, so you can probably give us some feedback on Thursday, the 14th, when I'm going over that, because I don't use it too much, but I like some of the things. It's cool for what it does. Loving the convert to text feature on iOS Notes app. Cool, right? So both GoodNotes and so Apple uses that. We'll talk about that. I can probably bring that in all the days, but Apple uses that systematically right? Like if you turn that on with the app, get it together. If you turn it on within the settings, you can kind of use your Apple Pencil, the scribble feature, that's what it's called. But then there's, the text to notes or notes to text, where it'll type in, trying to get my thoughts together, but where it'll take your handwritten notes and convert it to typed notes. There you go. You know who does that? Who has always done that really well? Samsung. I had the Galaxy Note tablet, which we're talking about probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago with the S Pen. So Samsung and Windows, they kill that feature. Like I've used obviously my iPad, I've used Samsung, I've used Windows with their pen, and Samsung with the S Pen, and that recognition that they've always killed it. And that's the only time that I would use in every single text box, that handwriting to text feature, because it always happened instantaneously. The flow of how they do it is very seamless within the apps. They do it very, very well. So, hey girl, hey, how are you doing? What's cracking? Evernote to Apple Notes, 10 years. You know, I was heavily invested in Evernote probably until a handful of years ago. I was a heavy Evernote user. Then when I switched to one of the Microsoft Surface tablets, I started using OneNote, and OneNote had its pros and cons. OneNote was good for that time frame. Then again, all the S Notes features within Samsung. And then, since I've been with the iPad, and the Apple Pencil, it's been Notability for the most part ever since. So yeah, I was super productive today. I got rid of almost everything on my to-do list today. Now we're going to do a great live stream. I'm excited for you guys. So that's going to be there. Let me see. Good notes. Ooh, so then on Wednesday, Evie, would love to hear your feedback when we go over it, because I am a Notability girl. I use Apple Notes because it syncs with Mac OS and iOS. So both Good Notes and Notability, but it's free, right? That's the difference. That Notes, Apple Notes, because it's free, it syncs, it's easy. But both Good Notes and Notability now have Mac OS. But you know what I think, and that's interesting. I got to double check that for tomorrow and for Wednesday, because they both have Mac apps. But I think you may have to pay twice. I've had them for so long, so I don't remember. But I'll definitely do the research. That's definitely important to have for you guys this week. Hey, girl, hey. How you doing? I was just telling them that you're going to be here on Saturday, and we're going to have some fun. Are you ready? There was something that you said you was going to throw me under the bus to the community to today. And I was like, you better not, I'll beat you. K-Walk says it will convert a picture to really good used during. Oh, that's cool. Paul on Mondays, he moderates the Ecamm ENN news show. And because, that's been they've been in production for a year and a half now. So I lose him to ENN, unfortunately, but I gain him every other day of the week. So I'm not even mad at that. So Mondays, Paul will never be here because of ENN. So Gretchen says, I pre-recorded and set premieres for my show with the thoughts that I can go live, maybe, but not do the whole storytelling part. So told my community and they were fine with that. That's so, you know what? Still lots of work, right, Gretchen? Still a lot of commitment to that. So I respect your hustle, girl. Get it. And Evie's she's acting as Paul right now. Thanks, Evie. Appreciate you. Remember, if you got a question for India, put a Q, : that's a question. Everything else is a statement. Appreciate you, girl. Yeah, what's cracking, David? How are you doing? And she's doing the call to action. Don't forget to hit that like button. You guys are amazing. All right, you guys are saying hello. And leave it to Angie to throw me under the bus. It was how you make me sleep next to the door so an intruder will get me first. Damn, babe, why you gotta tell everybody that? That's so messed up. That is so messed up. So Angie just told you guys. We can revisit. I can't. We can revisit that when you are here on Saturday. and we can have that argument, and everybody can beat me up or say what they will in the comments, because I'm going to talk about the apps, the iOS reminders app. But I got my side of the bed, and my side of the bed in my house, actually in both, because it's funny, when I go to your house, you also silly. So there's a reason in your house doesn't count, because you got to be closest to the door for the kids. However, in my house, that's my side. So wait, Evie, what? No, wait, it's this one. What do you mean they come through? Okay, see, thank you. They don't come through the door. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. So they're going to get me first. And I have a bat right there. I'm prepared, Evie, because I got a bat right by the nightstand that if I hear someone, literally all I have to do this and the bat is in my hand. So, you know what, Ange? All right, you guys. So if you did not try to remember on the way out, I did post a community poll to ask about what app do you use for like reminders and texts. Are you using the iOS app? Yes, no. If you're using a different one, put in the comments which particular app are you using. And then, I had to give a funny option of, who needs reminders. So I would love to hear your feedback. See, that's because we're good. And Angie, stop throwing me under the bus, okay? David says, makes sense to me that you would put it near the door. Hey, Eric, calling in from Switzerland. How are you doing today? So let's go here. And let's just move some stuff around. You guys, I think I just got to make sure that when we go to the scene, so we're going to get straight into it. We're going to go over. Let me move this here so I can make sure that I see you guys. Apple peeps, have you found a way to schedule text messages? It just popped in my head. See, it's little things like that I miss from Android, Evie, right? Like you can do all of those amazing things from Android. And it's like, I love Apple. Like, listen, don't get me wrong. I love Apple. But then when it's like those times, especially for us as business people, I have found that feature. Like I've wanted to use that even as a banker. So for instance, as a banker, if let's say I'm working late night one night and I realize that I'm missing a client's bank statement and it's 11 o'clock at night, I don't want to text them or send them an email that late. So I would really love the schedule text feature for work, or even of, hey, I got your message today. Let's connect tomorrow, right? Like if I'm working late night or even early morning, because in the morning I'll wake up at 6, I peruse my phone, I'm drinking my coffee, and I don't want to text the client, even if it's like at 8 o'clock, because here's the thing, even if it's at a normal hour, but I'm not necessarily working, I don't really start working until 9 for my customers. If I start texting them at 8 o'clock when I'm checking emails and stuff, they're going to start calling me and I'm not trying to do all of that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, exactly. Tried TikTok, not married. Tick, what? Tick. What is this? I've never heard of this app. Is it Tick? Is that what it's called? K-Walk? Use Google Suite for school. It's not my favorite. Short week. Ooh, nice. Yes, Angie and I will be celebrating on Sunday. We're going to do a nice dinner on Sunday. We were talking about that earlier today, so we're looking forward to Sunday. Thank you, honey. Appreciate you. I like how you have your phone on silent, so it was okay for me to text you last night, but that's not with everyone. Right. And so I love using now the new focus feature, and I leave it so that when you're texting me, that it's either on do not disturb or, it says notification silent. And I do give the option for surprisingly with that, I do give the option for people to notify anyway. Evie was one of the very few people that did it and said, just because I wanted to do it, and she forced her message to go through. I died laughing. I thought it was hilarious. And this year, all year, I've only had one customer force the message through. And I was actually very grateful that she forced the message through, because there was like kind of a fire going on and I was in the zone, and I very, very much appreciated that she did it. She did it at the exact time. So, hey, Carlos, what's cracking? How are you doing? Yeah, It's all right. It's all, I guess, yeah. But it was funny. It was funny as heck when it went through. And Paul has had to use it for me as well. And I've told him, listen, if you need me, I'm doing whatever it is. And he'll force it through as well. All right. So let's go into this scene here. All right. And so we are looking at hey, Caleb, how are you? Really? That's interesting. Forbidden in many countries to communicate with customers or employees outside of opening hours. That's pretty cool. See, but the problem is, so like, even if that were a rule here, so in the bank that I worked at, TD Bank, which is on the East Coast, they're a Canadian bank. TD Bank opened it to customers at one point, we used to open at 7 a.m. And when I first started there, I think my first 2 years, they would close on certain days of the week at 8 p.m. Listen, the store in Harlem, and we're getting sidetracked, but I do want to talk about that since you brought it up. The store in Harlem at one point when they were Commerce on 125th Street would be open till 12 a.m. Who needs a bank open? Anyway. Hey, Michael, how are you? Appreciate you. I am loving it. Thank you. All right. Very cool. Well, glad to see you here. And since you are new, this is what we do for people who join in on our live streams. What's cracking? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Hold on. Let me get to the right scene. I didn't program my stream deck. I am doing good. It definitely has its challenges with working a full-time job, and now the next challenge that I'm incorporating, that will be incorporated in these next 64 days to go, is I am going back to consistently working out. And so figuring out that on top of work, preparing for the stream, cooking lunch and dinner, keeping my house clean, all of that good stuff. So the one thing I can say is that it's finally starting to get nice. And when I woke up this morning at 6:15 a.m., it was daylight. There was a frost warning, so it was too cold for me to cycle at 6:15. But on Wednesday, it's supposed to be 80 degrees, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 70 degrees. So I'm hoping that if tomorrow when I wake up, it's about 50 degrees, I can cycle in the morning, because I'll wake up at 5 and cycle. Because if not, that's been the next challenge of getting all of it in. Because once this stream is done, I'll be like, all right, I'm laying down. I'm done. But other than that, it's been a great experience. So again, thank you for coming through, Mike. I appreciate you. All right, Evie, appreciate you. Okay, thank you. Eric says, I received the Facebook ban of 3 days today. I read an article where a bartender worked 70 hours and worked $5. My reply, crazy American society, was condemned. That's a little, people are just, it's like hot topics, right? Like, all right. So what do I want to do? I actually can bring my phone over this way. Hold on, because I have it plugged in and I want to make sure I don't unplug it. Okay, cool. So let's bring the phone. Now you guys saw that I had an appointment with Doc Rock today. Hold on. Let's go back here so you didn't see all of my business. Although you can't see the password, I didn't know it was going to show up on the screen. All right, so let's come back to this scene over here. Okay, so now to the good stuff. Make sure my mic is nice and tight. Todd, what's cracking?
Ho, ho, ho.
How are you, Christmas Clatter? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you as usual, and we all look forward
Ho, ho, ho.
to that right there. Okay, cool. So I'm just moving the comments around so that I can keep an eye on you over here. I said K-Walk absolutely look. KY, I think K-Walk loves that more than me. She's like, hold on, there it is.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, so let's just go in. It snowed at my sister's Eastern, blah, 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 50 miles. Okay, all right. So some of the things that I love about lists with iOS, and I use it all the time, is that you can talk to Siri and you can tell Siri. So usually, my brain is going, I'm getting ready for the day. And if I'm in the shower doing my hair, whatever it is, I will, if it's something, especially for work with the bank, I'll say, hey, Siri, remind me to call X client. Or, and I don't want to say it because I'm going to start. So I'll say, we're going to say, hey, Apple lady. So then I'll say, hey, Apple lady, add a reminder to my work list. And then she'll say, what's the reminder? And then I'll say, yada, yada. So looking at this here, you can see that for today, I have 3 things scheduled for today that were due, 5 that are scheduled, 66 altogether, 3 flagged. And then you can see right under that, I have the assigned to me section, and I just have different lists. Now, although there's 66 items here, that's because I kind of use this as I use this as both a reminders app as well as a to-do list app. I used to use microphone. What is that? And this mic, Michael, is the Lewitt 240 Pro, my favoritist mic ever. I absolutely love it. So thank you. Hey, Laura, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. And so, Eric, you can technically do a Siri shortcut where you tell Alexa, Google to create a Siri shortcut and kind of get around it that way. It's just more extra work. But that can be done. So with the list, you can see I have a content creation list that I have yet to use. And that's because with my content creation, I've been focused on using Trello and really breaking everything down there. So I haven't really utilized it. Then I have my work list. And then the third list is red light, green light. You can see there are 11 things there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the list itself. And then we're going to go into not all of them, but the different features that I use in some of them. So like we're going to go into the red light, green light list, and that's the podcast that I'm preparing with Angie. And so if you can see, and I don't think I can zoom in on it, I'm not sure how well you guys can see it, but you can see it says shared with Angie Jimenez. So that's a list that I have shared with her. You can see that I have the custom icons kind of, to remind me when I'm looking at it as a glance. So headphones for the podcast, my home, my things to buy for my list, groceries. So you can see where the bulk of my reminders are into things that I need for my new house, my groceries, and then between work and all the other things. So let's go straight into the podcast one, because I think I'm using almost every feature available in that particular list. So as we click on it, now you can see that there's a lot of stuff going on here. Right? So the first thing is on the very top that it's who you're sharing it with. So you can choose who you want. It gets cut off a little bit on this overlay here, but sorry guys, the upper right hand corner, there's your circle, your app with the 3 dots. And if you open that up, you click on it, there you can say show the list info. You can add more people. And you can kind of break it down little by little there. So if I click on show list info, here's where you can just customize everything, right? So if you want to change the icon itself, there's some options. You can't bring new icons in, but you can change the kind of icons. So when I was looking at all of these, it would have either been between headphones and a microphone. They didn't have a microphone emoji. So I used the headphones and then green. Obviously, there's that. On the very bottom, you see it says convert to smart lists. Gets cut off on the overlay, but basically smart lists. And if I click on the learn more option, it tells you. So smart list is that when you start to put the information in on its own, it'll kind of do it for you, right? So a new tag created from the name of the original list is added to each reminder. The reminders in the list move to default list or into non-shared list. So it just helps you. Subtasks are outdented. Once you convert to smart lists, I haven't converted any of my lists to smart lists just yet. And it's because of that warning on the bottom. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go through the headache of doing it, because once you convert a list to a smart list, you can't convert back. You can't convert a shared list. So for this list, because I have to share this, because this is stuff that Angie and I are working on together, this list cannot be converted to a smart list. So let's just go back. That's the list info. Then I'm going to click on the menu again. And then you have your manage your shared list. So if we were going to bring someone else on, there obviously the way you share, you can just add people. Now, if you want to bring someone in or you want to change, right? So you can change your options because this is my default list. I have it. You can either, if you don't want the secondary person that you bring in, you can give them an option to add more people, or you can say that you want total control and those people are not going to add more people, right? Because it's Angie. I trust her. I know she's not going to bring a crazy, hobo into our shared list. So I don't care too much about that. But if you're doing something more with work, or if you want something like more granular, more control over, that's an option there. If you want to just copy the link and share it, let's say via text message, that's how you would do it, or via email or WhatsApp. You would just copy the link and share the list with them there. Okay. And then you can stop share. You can remove it. And then that's there. Okay. So I'm just going to get out, click on the menu again, and then select reminder. So if I want to select multiple reminders, and you can, delete, that option for that. Sorting by manual. So you can sort by the due date, the creation date, priority, or title. I actually want it by, and you can see that some of these we've kind of slacked off on this. So the deadlines for this was due last year, and then real life happened, and India decided to do a 100 days of live streaming. And this unfortunately got pushed a little bit to the back burner, but we are kind of regrouping and refocusing in these upcoming weeks, because when Angie and I were doing our recordings, it was actually at 7:00, because that's the time that worked best for her. And usually when we were doing this, we were doing it 2 days a week from 7 to like 9, between her calling me on eCam, us talking about the subject, us getting into it, and then talking for like an hour straight, and then the wrap up. So doing these 100 days of live stream kind of ate into that time. And so we're working on readjusting the timing of when we can meet to go into it. So for now, I'm just going to sort this by priority. And you can see that it changed the order of some of these things here. Click back in. And then if you want, as you complete your lists, it'll hide it. I don't want to see any tasks that has been completed, because it's just like get rid of the clutter. But if there's something where you have a good amount of tasks and you need to go back, and maybe it was like who finished this or who changed that, that would be a circumstance where you would click on that show completed list. The printing option, I looked at it, was actually kind of cool if I were still working like in an office format, because when you print it, right, like how it shows everything, it's pretty cool to look at it from a printed clean format. So that's that option there. Let's go back. And then obviously deleting your list. So those are all the things that are within the menu that is found on the upper right hand side. So now let's go into this first task here. So I'm going to click on the eye. And then here you see you can have your name. If there's any particular notes, so let's go back. I did notes for this one here, the second one. So for this second one, I put a description, but then I also put notes of what that task really entails, so that when Angie reads it, she can see what I mean and she understands directly. So just putting a little bit more specifics. The URL, so if this task invites or consists of going to a specific link, you can put that there, and you guys know how that works. Where you click it, it'll open up automatically for you. You can choose your date and time of when you want this to be due by. Is this a repeating task? So you can see for this particular task, because Angie and I do have content that we pre-recorded right before I started doing the 100 days of live streaming. But now, because so much time has passed by, I have to actually go in and re-listen to that, because now I'm like, well, do we need to re-record those episodes? I need to edit it, right? Because it's been so long, I have no idea what it looks like, what it sounds like. So then this is what this reminder is that in the mornings, I can take 45 minutes and just listen to it while I'm doing my morning routine to say, just to gauge if this is an episode that we should re-record or where, just taking notes and putting markers of where I need to edit, etc., etc. So I know that I can do this in about 3 days, as long as I wake up early enough to get it done in the morning before I start work. And so that's why I put it to repeat every day. And basically, I expect to be done by Friday, the end of the week. You can create custom tags. So if we go into this here, you can see that for now I have 3 tags. So it's editing, podcast, and then the hashtag of our podcast itself of red light, green light. If you want to add a new tag, obviously you have anything there. I wouldn't even know. We can just say, I don't even know. But basically you would associate your tags there, because then when you're searching, you can also search. So if I want every task to come up, if I go into cancel, and if I want the tasks to come up by editing, then I can just select that and it's going to show me the task order in by your editing, right? By that tag. So let's go back. You can also choose with the reminders list. It's really smart. And I've used this in the past, not a lot recently, but I've used it with my groceries list, where I choose a specific location and I choose, let's say, the ShopRite. And I'll say, okay, when I get to ShopRite, then the list will pop up and it'll remind me and it'll go into that specific list. Another thing, if let's say you're leaving work or whatever the case may be. So if you choose location, here you can see there's different options. So when you're getting in the car, when you're getting out of the car, your current location or custom, and then here. So you can see you can put all of the information. And so if you do custom, whatever the case may be there. So let's say like I keep forgetting to buy creamer. So like tomorrow I have a business event. And so I need to remind myself that when I get in the car to buy creamer, and that'll be my reminder, right? So the way these reminders work is that every time I get in the car, until I mark this task done, if I do a new task and I put myself a reminder to buy creamer for my coffee and I choose location and put it in getting in my car or even getting out my car, then every time I get out of my car, turn the car off and the phone disconnects from the car's Bluetooth, it's that reminder is going to vibrate on my phone and it's going to show up on my screen and it's going to say reminder to buy creamer, so that then I can walk to the corner store and before I get home or before I come inside, I remember to get creamer, or the other way around every time I get in the car. So for instance, if I don't want to go to the corner store, but I do want to go to ShopRite because I need to get some other things, then that's when you would use the getting in feature. Because if I'm coming from the business meeting tomorrow at 1:00 and I'm coming home and I remind myself that I need 1, 2, and 3 things from the grocery store, when I get in the car and I turn it on, everything connects. It's going to remind me, and then I can do the detour of going to the grocery store instead of coming straight home. I've used it. It works very well. It's a great feature. Similarly to the location feature, you can then use when messaging, right? So what that does, and so you can see I turned that on. You can choose the purchase person. So as I go and I look for Angie, right? So what that means, and this can be kind of annoying depending on, annoying, but kind of in a good way if you really need this done. And I used it one time with Angie, but we text each other so much that literally every time that I text her, the banner notification came up on the top of the screen and it said, because you're messaging Angie Jimenez, and the reminder came up. So again, it works really well. If let's say you can put a reminder that, Pastor Felicia's birthday was last week. So if you text her frequently and you put a reminder of remind me to text Pastor Felicia of her birthday or whatever the case may be, if the message comes up, it's going to automatically come up on your screen. So the when messaging feature works really well, but be mindful because again, depending on how often you are texting that person and how much you procrastinate with getting this task done, that can be a blessing and a curse depending on, because it'll either force you to get it done or it'll just be completely annoying because then you disregard it and you leave it, which is what I did until I finally got it done. Hey, Gabe, what's cracking? How are you doing today? Appreciate the love and appreciate you coming through. Let's see. So I'm going to turn that off because if not, that notification will come up every time we're texting. And so then this is where you would assign specific tasks. So, right, like with the podcast, Angie's going to be the one who does the descriptions and kind of tighten up some of the thumbnails. And then I'm going to be the one that does the editing. So if we go back and we cancel, let me see, finalize a thumbnail image, right? For this particular one, finalize a thumbnail image. Let me just delete that. What I want to do is actually assign a reminder. And now I'm going to assign that to Angie because then Angie's going to be the one who's taking care of that. So then she now, literally, as I just did it, as soon as I hit done, she got a notification that I assigned that specific task to her. And then you can see on the right-hand side, it shows her picture. And if there are things that are flagged, then obviously it's going to show the flag there. And then the picture is just to help you associate which tag or which list is, or which reminder rather, is assigned to whatever person in that list. So as you're taking advantage of adding multiple people to reminders, right? And that's why I said I use this kind of as both a literal reminders list for when I'm doing groceries. I'll go in and I'm like, okay, I need creamer, eggs, milk, broccoli, whatever it is. And then as I walk around the store, I literally just check everything off. But I also use this as a to-do list, and it's a very functional, powerful to-do list. So let's go back into some more. I don't know if there was anything else. If we go back into the finalized thumbnail image. So what just came up there is that it says view contact, reassign or remove assignment. So when you click on Angie's picture, that's what shows up. I'm going to click on the actual, like where the description is. And then you can see the little eye came up next to her picture. So I'm going to click on that. That takes me here into it. And if there's anything, I don't want that. If there's anything else that you want to add. So now you can see some other stuff on the very bottom. So the list that this is going to be on, do you want this to be prioritized at all? So you can change it from none. You can put your priorities. That's low priority. And so here you have your subtasks. So which one is this one? This one is finalizing a thumbnail image. So that's going to be kind of like for our main, like the main thumbnail, the description, but then each particular episode will have its own thumbnails, right? So this one is for that. But then if I go here, check this out. This one where it's description for podcast on each episode, you can see now I added subtasks. Episode 1, sorry guys. Let me go to done. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just put it for 5. And so you can see as I changed it, Angie got the notification on her phone once I assigned her, right? So that works really well if it's remote offices, different teams that you're not sitting next to someone and you're relying on someone. It's a really cool, powerful tool that you can have for free from iOS. And they've really fine-tuned this and added some really cool features over the last couple of years. Gabe says, what's the weirdest thing you have added to your grocery list? Well, I have my groceries here. I don't know if I have anything weird. Basil, honey, berries, magnesium, B12, and creamer. So I don't know if any of those things are weird. And then I also have a keto food list. Is there anything weird here? Chia seeds or flax seeds, MCT oil, which I actually have now. Maybe Icy Hot. Why is Icy Hot on my keto food list? Icy Hot is not. Butter keto. I actually got that keto. Let's see. But off the top of my head, I don't know. But things like that, random like vitamins or random things that it's supposed to be healthy, but normally like people who's buying MCT oil. And if you know, it's like butter coffee, right? Like, but who knows about ghee butter and stuff? But anyway, let's go back to the podcast. So for this one here, right, the description for each podcast episode, I'm just going to click on that, bring in the little eye. So let's see. You can see that I did have the subtasks. So very simple. You can add if I want to add episode 6, because Angie agreed that she's going to handle the descriptions for each podcast. And so, Gabe, yes, I see hot. Is it keto friendly? It might be. I don't know. It makes my knees feel better. I don't know why that was on that list. That was kind of funny. You asked that question. Okay. And so let's go back so you can add your reminders there. And so because this one here, so let's assign this whole list to her. So the same thing, we're going to assign that there. Let's add our tasks. So that should be definitely editing. Okay, so here I can do descriptions. Description tag, right? And then hit done. And then what I did was I was messing with this today is that I added an image. So then in theory, so let's talk about, right? Let's talk about this workflow. I'm just going to hit done for a second. Let's talk about the workflow. So the workflow was we have our episodes. We're going to figure out what's our main thumbnail, and then we'll do variations of that thumbnail for each episode. So in theory, right? So for this one here, if we go back into finalize the description for each, well, here you can add an image, and I'm not going to open up my pictures because I don't know what crazy, it's just selfies of me, but you can choose, there you go. Look, my photo library, but you can choose what images you want. And I kind of, let me see, it's just a lot of selfies. So if I just want something like that there, well, then that's the secondary image that I chose. So you can choose any images, because then when you're looking at it, now you have, okay, so how would we use that? Why would we use that? So if Angie's the one who's finalizing the thumbnails and she wants to put it in a central place and to let me know, okay, look, description for episode 1 is done. Here's the thumbnail we're doing. She can put all of that information up there. And so I get the alerts, and when I get a few minutes, I can pick up my phone and I can say, okay, cool, here's the description. This is what the thumbnail looks like. And it's all kind of done in one centralized place. And that adding of an image is fairly new. I don't recall seeing that a while ago, like last year and stuff. So that's definitely a fairly new feature. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. So you can see down on the bottom, the tags. So those are all the tags that you have. If you want to add your own tags, you can kind of do that, right? So we have, you can add a list on the bottom. You can't see that because the overlay cuts it off. But on the so what I did was I went to, on the top right-hand side, I clicked on edit and then edit it. Here you can say, so if I want to move, you guys know how to use the handles, move this list all the way to the top. Now I have that there. I want to bring work right under it so you can organize your stuff. And then on the very bottom, under tags, you can't see it. But then under tags, you have two options. On the bottom left-hand side, you have add group. And on the bottom right-hand side, you have add list. So clearly we know what a list is, right? All of these things that I have here, work, content creation, home, et cetera, that is lists. But if we go into group, that might be new. Ooh, so you can do a group of lists. So let's do this. Check this out. So I'm going to do a new group, and I'm actually going to call that content creation, right? So then for this group, content creation, and then I want to include my red light, green light. I want to include my content creation list, and that's all I have for right now. So now you can see on the top, it says new group. Going to go back. I included two lists. Wait, did that work? I don't know if did I mess that up? I think I might have messed that up. Let's do that again. I think I hit back. Yeah, I hit cancel and didn't create it. So content creation, include red light, green light, include content creation. You can change your order, new group. And so now I'm going to create that group. And now check this out. So this one here that I'm going all the way to the top, you can see that the icon looks a little bit different. I'm going to bring that up top over here. Well, if I can get my order and figure out my handles, bring this to the top. And now you can see that within this top here, right under lists, you have, it's a group, and you can see the lists are indented. And the two lists that are in that content creation group are my red light, green light, our podcast, and then my content, my personal content creation list there. You can collapse it. So now it's collapsed and so you don't see it. So it helps you kind of, so like, right, I can create a list for home and then I can put my home things to buy for new home, my groceries, my budget and bills, right? To help you keep this here. Because what happens is if you're really, I can see someone who's a power user and they're creating lists for everything. Well, then this becomes, you're constantly like scrolling. It becomes a never ending list. So to keep it clean, you can separate it out even more. And so I would have my content creation. I would have a home group. I would have maybe a finance group, a health group, right? Because I have some, like keto would maybe be under my health group and things like that to help you organize yourself even more. I'm going to click on here and then I'm going to click on the I next to content creation. Oh, and that just lets you edit it there. And that's pretty much your app there, like with everything. And so you can see, that's so funny. So you can see, why is there only one thing from red light, green light assigned to me? So let me go assign some more stuff to me. That's assigned. I'll assign this first one. So the one thing I noticed that is that you can only choose one assignment reminder. It's only one or the other. And that I don't necessarily like, because it may very well be a task. Like this particular task is, Angie and I, we kind of need to do this together. And so it's important to the both of us. I was a little bummed out that I couldn't choose the both of us and it was only one or the other. And because she's the one who has to do the work around the camera, that's why I assigned it to her. But finalize description for podcast series, take pictures of Angie for the thumbnail. That should be assigned to me. So I'll assign that one to me here. And now you can see I have 2 tasks assigned to me. And that is that. You guys have been fairly quiet. You've been watching because I've been looking at my list. So I know you've been watching. Any questions with the reminders app? I'm just looking at it to make sure. I think I pretty much went over everything. So any questions that I can answer? Are you guys using the reminders app? Is there anything that you learned from this that was new today? Do you think you think it would be valuable to you? What do you think? Let me know. I love it. I love using it. I use it on my phone. It's really quick. I value the reminders. So the way I keep myself organized is that I'll do reminders for when I'm on the go. I'll either speak it to the Apple lady, I'll type it in, and then when I actually sit down at the desk, I use Notability, and then I actually write out my actual to-do lists. So sometimes I'll have them open. So like today, if we take a look, let me just go, if we go to my list today, I don't know if this is on. Yeah, let me just turn the overhead camera on really quick. And here is this. Yes. So this is and I don't want you guys to read it, but just, hey, what happened here? Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. I changed the camera on me. I don't need you guys to read it, but this is how I keep myself organized during the day for the bank, right? So what I do is the very first thing in the morning is that I open up Notability and I literally will go through emails, phone calls, text messages, anything like that, applications that I need to do. And I just write out the list as I go. And we'll go over more of this when we go over like digital notes and stuff. But usually what I'll do is I have the reminders app for when I'm upstairs, right? Like I said, if I'm getting ready and I remember, oh man, this client texted me, or oh man, this email from the underwriter came in through last minute, I'll put that really quick on the reminders app under the work section. And then I'll open up, when I sit down here, I open the app up on my phone and I will then bring over the stuff from my Apple Reminders app. And I just literally write the numbers down of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I write whatever details. And then once I'm done with my to-do list, then I start banging things out. So now check this out with the way I keep myself organized. You can see, so I crossed things off from the top half of the list. I missed the middle. And then I crossed things off on the bottom half. And so the reason for that is because there were things that were either later things that I needed to do that I've been kind of procrastinating on, or quick hits of things like some of these things. And you can see I use different fonts. So the white just to write it down, the red, I cross it out once it's done. And then I even have some yellow font in there, and the yellow is basically if I need to write notes. So usually with the yellow is that I needed to contact that person. So the white is saying contact this person, their cell phone number. The yellow is when I actually contacted them, and then red once I've done it and completed it. So that's kind of how I use my reminders app and my Notability app. Like I said, we'll go over more of that in detail tomorrow with how Notability works, with the highlighter, with changing text colors, with the like snap to line. I love that feature. So when I'm crossing out my lists, it's always a perfect line straight across. That is the OCD person in me. But that is pretty much that. That was I think a thorough review. I see Robin just got here. Hey girl, hey, how are you doing? I appreciate you. It's all right. Everybody, so Simply Obs is saying she just started using it. All right, cool. So then hopefully you can go back and reference this live if there's any reminders or any helpful tips and stuff. You are very welcome. But I love it. It's really great when you want to use bring multiple people in it for scheduling. I really love that feature. I haven't used it a lot. I used to use it a lot prior to the pandemic, the location feature. Because again, for me, how I explained to you guys how I was using it was when I would get in the car, it was like, oh yeah, I need to go because if I woke up and I didn't have creamer, I'd be really cranky. So it was just, I would use the location feature that way, utilizing it, and literally every time just pinging, going off on my phone. It was something that never failed for me and worked very, very well. And it has been working well. Angie and I are just slacking off with not getting the things done, but that's a whole nother procrastination issue, not a reminders app issue. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. Well, that went fairly quick. We are at 57 minutes. I could have had a timer on today, but when I put my timer on, y'all be all talking smack. So if you guys don't have any questions, so tomorrow we are going to go over, like I said, we're going to go over Notability. Thank you, Sean. So we're going to kind of have the same exact layout as we did today. I'm just going to change the formatting. It'll be a little bit bigger because, the iPad screen, the size is bigger. But we're going to bring in the iPad screen. We're going to go over all of the menu options, the features, the different templates. That'll be a thorough, in-depth look at Notability tomorrow, and the Apple Pencil and how well it really works. And then on Thursday, GoodNotes. So I'm glad you guys love it. We will do what we do. Sean reminded me, Mr. Information Man Show reminded me, today is day 36, 64 days. Oh, you can't see me right here. 64 days to go. When we come back tomorrow, we will be back with 63 days to go. Can't believe it. On Friday, we'll be 40 days in. I'm very excited. Very, very excited. But today is day 36, 64 days in. Over here. I will catch you guys on the next one tomorrow evening, same time, same place. I really genuinely appreciate you guys. Gretchen, enjoy your art retreat. Definitely look forward to hearing about that, and make sure you relax and get some really good stuff done. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, guys. Good night. Buenos nachos. Peace out, y'all. I just noticed I never changed the 79